So, let's talk about money. Personal finance. If that phrase alone makes you a little tense, hey, you are not alone. But what if I told you it's not about complicated spreadsheets or some secret Wall Street code? What if it's really just about a few simple, powerful habits? Well, today we're going to break it all down, using the classic guide, Personal Finance for Dummies, as our source. Let's get into it.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. First up, we've got to know where we're starting from, so we'll do a quick financial checkup. Then we'll talk about building a rock-solid foundation by getting a handle on our spending and saving. After that, we get to the really fun part, making our money start working for us through investing. And finally, we'll learn how to build a fortress around everything you've worked for, setting you up for success.
Okay, let's dive right in with our financial vitals. And look, just like a checkup at the doctor's, this is a no-judgment zone. This is all about getting a clear, honest answer to one simple question. Where am I right now?
The single most important number in this entire checkup, it's your net worth. Think of it as your ultimate financial score. The formula couldn't be simpler, but it's incredibly powerful. Just take everything you own, that's your assets, and subtract everything you owe, your liabilities. That one number, that's your starting line.
So how do you actually figure it out? Easy. You just make two lists. In one column, you put all your assets. Retirement accounts, investments, the value of your home, stuff like that. In the other column, you list out your liabilities, your mortgage, any credit card debt, student loans, you name it. Then, you just subtract the liabilities from the assets, and boom, you've got your net worth. It's a crucial first step.
All right, the next vital sign we need to check is your credit score. This is basically your financial report card. Lenders use it to see how risky it is to loan you money. But here's why you should care. A great score isn't just about bragging rights. It can literally save you thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars in interest on big things like a mortgage or a car loan. It's huge.
And this chart right here shows you exactly why lenders care so much. Just look at these numbers. It's staggering. A whopping 83% of people with scores under 500 end up being seriously late on a payment. But what about people with scores over 800? That number plummets to just 1%. That massive difference in risk is precisely why a high score gets you the absolute best interest rates. You've proven you're a safe bet.
Okay, now that we've checked our vital signs, it's time to build that solid foundation we talked about. This is all about mastering the fundamentals, getting control of debt, and, actually keeping more of the money you earn.
A really important idea here is that not all debt is created equal. There's what you might call good debt, which is money you borrow to buy things that can actually grow in value. Think a mortgage for a house or a student loan for an education. And then there's bad debt. This is the stuff you buy on credit that loses value the second you own it, like a new car or a vacation you put on a credit card. One can build your wealth, the other just slowly drains it away.
So, getting out of that bad debt is one of the most powerful financial moves you can possibly make. It really comes down to 3 steps. First, you take any extra savings you have and you attack that high-interest debt. And think about it this way. Paying off a credit card with a 14% interest rate is like getting a guaranteed, tax-free 14% return on your money. You can't get that anywhere else. Second, and this is so important, stop digging the hole deeper. And third, if you can't pay it off in full at the end of the month, just don't put it on the credit card. Simple as that.
All right, with that solid foundation in place, it's time to switch from playing defense to playing offense. This is the growth phase. This is where we talk about building real wealth. This is where you finally get to make your money work for you, using investing as the engine to power your biggest long-term goals.
Now, investing can seem super complicated, but really at its core, it just boils down to 2 main types. First, you have lending investments like bonds. With these, you are basically acting as the bank. You lend your money to a company or a government, and they promise to pay you back with interest. It's generally lower risk. Then you have ownership investments like stocks. Here, you become a part owner of a company, and that comes with much higher potential returns, but, you guessed it, higher risk.
So how in the world do you balance that risk and reward? Well, the key is something called asset allocation, which is just a fancy way of saying how you mix your different investments.
A really simple rule of thumb to get you started is the 110 minus your age rule. Whatever that number is, that's roughly the percentage you might put in stocks. So, for a 40-year-old, that's 70% in stocks for growth and the other 30% in safer bonds. As you get older, that mix naturally gets more conservative. Pretty cool, right?
Building wealth is amazing, but it's only half the battle. You've also got to protect it. So this step is all about building a financial safety net, a shield that protects you from those unexpected curveballs life can throw that might undo all of your hard work.
When it comes to insurance, our guide gives us 3 simple, powerful laws. Law number 1, cover the catastrophes. Insurance is for things that could financially ruin you, not for small inconveniences. Number 2, don't insure the small stuff. By choosing a higher deductible, that's the amount you pay out of pocket first, you can seriously lower your monthly payments. And number 3, always shop around. Different companies charge different prices, so comparing quotes is the key to getting the best deal.
So, what kind of catastrophes are we talking about? Well, it really boils down to the big 4 essentials. Life insurance, but only if you have people who depend on your income. Disability insurance, which protects your single most valuable asset, your ability to earn a living. Health insurance, to guard against truly massive medical bills. And finally, property insurance, for your home and car. These 4 things together, they form the shield for your entire financial plan.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground. We've gone from a basic checkup to building a savings foundation to growing your wealth, and finally to protecting it. But the main takeaway from all of this is that personal finance isn't some big, scary secret. It's just a series of simple, manageable habits that you practice over and over again over time.
I absolutely love this quote from the book because it just nails it. Financial health is not about being some kind of Wall Street wizard. It's about building good habits one day at a time, just like all the other little things we do every day to keep our lives running smoothly. You can absolutely do this.
So, we've laid out the entire map for you, but as they say, every journey begins with a single step. Which brings us to the only question left, the one right here on the screen. What is the one financial habit you can start today?